Good evening. I'm going to start a little series every week and start reading little tidbits out of some of my stories for you guys to share. We talked about doing like an audio book for people, and that's just no way in hell possible because the stories wouldn't sound the same unless they were coming from somebody's voice like me. So I'm going to try to put my voice into my stories and let you guys kind of hear some of them. So tonight I'm going to start out with a story out of my book, Ramblings of the Man Who Killed 1,000 Ducks and 20 Friendships. This story tonight I'm going to talk about is back when I was getting my pilot's license and I almost killed my instructor and his whole family. So we're going to read about that, and the name of the story is What You Do and Throw Up. So it is on page 43 of the book. So we'll go ahead and start. I'll read a couple minutes and give you guys a teaser of it, and if you like it, you can go to Amazon and order the books or order them from our website, whatever you'd like to do. There's Kindle versions. It's available in, I think, 7 different languages, so it should be a pretty good deal. So anyhow, what are you doing throw ups? Name of the story. I'm not really scared of a whole lot of anything. There's just a few things I'm scared of, and they kind of make me want to pee myself. Those few things are snakes. That has to be the worst for me. Midgets and flying. I hate to be scared of anything, and I try to face those fears to overcome them when they happen. I've never been able to get over my fear of midgets or snakes. Now, I know that sounds funny, but midgets are something you just don't see in my neck of the woods. They're not really scary, but they do make things awkward. But I'm okay with that. Snakes, on the other hand, they scare the hell out of me. I've been told countless occasions by my friends that snakes are not even going to hurt you, that most of them are not even poisonous. That may be right, but neither is the poison that I'm concerned about. It's that my heart is saying screw this and giving out on me when I go into panic attack running and screaming like a little girl with pee dripping down my pant leg when I go to see one. So I've just said to hell with even trying to overcome that fear. After all, anything that has no legs and can move faster than me has the right to have me scared. But flying, I think really what's the problem with flying? I can beat this fear. It all starts in the beginning of my law enforcement career. I've met a couple young guys who are pilots, and they're pretty damn good. They've offered for me to go flying with them on a couple occasions. And I thought, no, I'm not about to go in a plane. I'm not worried about the flying part. It's a sudden stop when you crash that I'm worried about. Now I have a pretty strange sense of humor and tend to screw with people a little more than I ought to, and I guess I did that to these pilots a bit when they were growing up. They remembered that great lesson in life I mentioned earlier about patience and a good memory. So they finally talked me into a flight, and I'm nervous. I'm not wanting to show it the fear of making fun of me, but there's no hiding how scared I am at this point. I'm so worried about crashing that I had nightmares the day before. But I figured I may, if I ever want to get over this fear, I have to man up and do this. It's a hot summer day, and I've never been on a plane before in my life, so I'm getting in a little 4-seat plane isn't really helping me much at all. I get in the back and I'm looking at the plane. I see how just real small tube frame with super thin metal is on the outside. There's not enough metal to protect crap if this thing decides to not make it. I have the shakes and we have not even left the runway yet. Hell, we haven't even gone 5 feet. I'm sitting in the rear seat and I have a hold of the front seat so hard that my knuckles are turning white. I can hardly breathe. My buddies are laughing at me and cannot even closely imagine how nervous I am. We take off from the runway and I get in the air. It's not as bad as I figured it would be. It's a different feeling. I'm calming down a bit. When I say a bit, you need to understand I'm nowhere near calm, just not at the verge of having a seizure. We're flying around and they are showing me the aerial view of several places where I grew up. I was fascinated with how different things looked from above. We covered a lot of area. I got to see my house and several places where I hunt and fish, and I become very fascinated. I was thinking how many new places I had just seen in such a short time and how I could fly to new areas to hunt, fish, or find bad guys if needed. We continue to fly around and they realized I've calmed down, and that was not a good thing in their eyes. So they take me straight up until the plane stalls, and we go straight back down with no engine running until we almost hit the ground. Then the engine starts back up and we fly off and go around again. Now my stomach's never really experienced my lunch going to the bottom to the top and back down, and I can feel my stomach bubbling. I'm not sure if I'm going to throw up or shit myself. Either one could end up happening. Considering we're inside a small little plane up in the air on a hot summer day, neither can be good. My buddies all realize I'm nervous, so they fly me down real calm for a little bit and I settle back down. I lose the fear of crapping all over myself in the air and making a genuine fool of myself. I mean, after all, it doesn't matter what you do in life, but if you shit your pants while flying with your buddies, that's what people are going to remember you for. But as things would have it, the flight went well and we headed back to the runway. I calmed down and was really enjoying the experience. We passed over the runway to make sure it's clear and we begin to approach for final landing. Now this is where it gets funny. As we come in for landing, I begin to squeeze the seat in front of me. Like I said earlier, I'm not scared of much of flying. It's the crashing back into the planet Earth that scares the hell out of me. As we're coming in, no one on the plane is talking. There's no noise whatsoever, and everyone has a serious look on their face. And out of nowhere, this really loud buzzing noise starts. Then this other noise starts beeping loud. I've grabbed a seat in front of me, and everyone is quiet. The noise continues to go beep, beep, beep. I'm trying to figure out how to jump out of the plane that's still not on the ground. Everyone inside the plane begins laughing but me. I cannot laugh for the fear as I tried to hold my bladder would excuse me, fear if I tried to hold my bladder it would let loose of everything I'd been holding back for the last few minutes. I'm not sure what just happened, but I do know that I got a little bit closer to Jesus over those few seconds. That's the teaser for it. Next week I'll finish that story up for you guys, and it's where I actually start flying and almost crash into everybody during one of my lessons. So y'all have a good night.